Welcome, my name is Todd Hutchison, and in this session we're going to be talking about behavioural styles. See, Dr. Mazdin back in the 1950s coined something called DISC. He said there was more people that are more driven or dominant, there were people that are more influencers, there were people that are more stable, security, and there was people that are more compliant, very wanting to be more correct. Now the simplest way of looking at this is to recognise that he said the D's and I's were more active, which Carl Jung called extroverts. And he said the people that were more S and C were more passive, which Carl Jung called extrovert. So I wonder if you think you're more introvert or if you think you're more extrovert. And if you know you're a high extrovert, that means you typically have the I trait. And of course, you can have a blend of these. You can have one dominant, two, or up to three, but you can't be all four, which is the proof that you're born to be in teams. So when you look at that, you might say, I'm more introvert or extrovert. Well, you're definitely a high I, you're definitely extrovert. If you're a high C, which is the opposite to the I, you're a high introvert. If you sit between those two, you can see you've got the orientation, but we call them actually ambiverts. It's someone that's between the two. Now, once you understand that, Dr. Mazdin said the D's and C's are far more task-focused, where the I and S's are far more people-focused. Now, the importance of this, you can go and do a behavioural profile and learn all about this, because the D's are all about get on, get it done, like challenges, and what they bring to the world is new things. Whereas the I, they're high energy, they energise people, they know people, they seem to have wide networks, and what they bring to the world is the connection with people and the connection of you to other people. The S's are about stability, very loyal. When things are going wrong, S's bring and glue the organisation and teams together. So therefore, when you've got an issue, you might find you go and see an S. So they make very good therapists, teachers, coaches, because it's very about the individual. Not like the I who wants to be everyone's friend, the S wants fewer people, deeper relationship. And the C's, they're very rule bound, very detailed, people get into the information. And when you look at that, what do they bring in the world? They bring a lot of the detail, a lot of the ability to create things in terms of building things that require knowledge and expertise. So the more you understand about your style, the more you'll realise what becomes out of your control when you overdo it. For example, when a D overdoes it, they take on too many things. They try and achieve too many, push through, and sometimes burn out their teams. When the I overdoes it, they become so social they don't get much work done. When the S, who likes the stability, overdoes it, they become resistant to change and get stuck in comfort zones. And when the C, the complex, the compliance people, when they get too detailed, they become pessimists or perfectionists. So I would encourage you to understand more about your behavioural style, because the behavioural style tools also tells us things like your stress profile, tells us what brings the best out of you, and it even explains what your natural talent is compared to what your adapted or your perceived need to adjust. And based on them being the same, you would be in what we call flow, where you're using least energy. But if they're out, that means who you're pretending to be, who you're actually playing today, is unlike your natural style. That can be hard work. Because when you're living your natural style, you're using least energy, so you feel energized. But if you're in the opposite, you're actually pushing against the current, and you might find you're going home exhausted, is because that takes a lot of energy. So the more you know about yourself, the more you can become high performing just by understanding the behavioral aspects.